All right, everybody, how we doing? Bobcat Ben here, son with Bobcat Country Value. All right, guys, so I've been talking a lot about building value, and building value, ABV, better than ABC, okay? So, but on the other side of it, you still got to be able to close your deals. You still got to be able to ask for the sale at the end of the day, okay? When you've built your value and you've done everything correctly inside of your deals, it just makes it easier when you go to ask for the sale at the end of everything. Okay, and when I mean ask for the sale, it's how you come up to close everything. How do you come up to your customers once you've gone through the paperwork, once they sat there for 30 minutes to 45 minutes waiting to hear an answer, you finally get everything done, the manager finally calls you back, then you go back there and you come out, okay? How do you come out at that point? All right, you have to come out and keep that energy alive, right? Because if you come out, man, guys, sorry that took so long, oh my Lord, and you start to kind of go down this little whiny rabbit hole, you don't want to do that to your customers. You want to come down, sit down, turn the paper over. All right, guys, you ready for the good news? Sorry it took so long, but the good news is that I got everything done for you. It came out just the way that I told you out there on the lot. Everything's included inside the quote. You ready to see what we got done here for you? Notice how I shut my mouth right there? Because I want them to say, yeah, you know what, Ben? Let's go ahead. I want to see everything. Let's see the numbers that you have for us, okay? Because then they're giving me a commitment to want to buy. Okay, turn the paper over. Perfect. Here's the selling price of the car. Here's the discount that we're giving you guys. Here's your gap coverage. Here's your warranty. Here's your tax, title, license. Here's everything, how it's going to work out. There's the total amount you're going to finance. Here's your payment term with your $3,000 down, your $4,000 down, your $5,000 down. Here's your interest rate. Here's what you guys are looking at. Put the pencil down and point it at the lowest payment on the piece of paper. Set the pencil pointed at the lowest payment on the paper or the pen. Okay, it's just a closing trick. So that way when the customer looks up at the piece of paper, they look down, their eyes are directed to the pencil, and the pencil's pointed towards that price point that you already talked about or that you talked about out there on the lot. Okay, it's almost a little bit of a mind game to a certain extent, but you're really not. All you're doing is reinforcing what you said, reinforcing the lower payment term and the lower buyout for them. Okay? The 222 on the timer when I said that. So there's factualities to what I say. I try to keep this stuff short and like that 3-minute run just because YouTube and stuff like that, that's what you guys like me to keep it at. But if you guys really want to know more, let me know. Drop a 100 down in the bottom if you've made it this far. Give me a like, give me a follow. I'll keep giving you guys these little bit better nuggets and a little more information as time presses on. Tune in on Sunday on TikTok. Monday on TikTok. I'm going to go live doing book signings, selling books. We're going to go over the first chapter of the book. I'll have people in there. It'll be a pretty good time. All right, so tune in.